Ladies and gentlemen, Pokemon of all species and everybody in between, let's just say that it is not surprising to want to hate on Pokemon nowadays, and listen, there is merit and reason to do so. I won't be a saint here and claim that I've glazed this franchise to hell and back because, well, the thoughts that I've had with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will say otherwise, even if I did enjoy it and did say it was a great game at the end of the day. But why am I now taking the time to speak about my first impressions of Legends Z-A while at the same time address the issues that it does have and equally include itself with the idea of this game being disrespected? Well, because Kirby ain't gonna pay the bills right now, that's why. I'm kidding, of course, which by the way, check out the Kirby video after this, but the reality is because I don't understand people's quote-unquote criticizing this game when in reality it's a solid time for a Pokemon experience. I know we as Pokemon fans tend to not really dive into the importance of graphics and performance and what have you, but to talk about that for a second here, that's not the case with Legends Z-A on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I can't speak about the Switch 1 version because I own a Switch 2, and the reason I own one is because I wanted to play Legends Z-A on better hardware, and by the looks of it, it functions great, the performance is smooth like butter, and the control of the characters and the movements of the Pokemon makes this a great time as a whole. And this is coming from someone who actively spoke about how modern Pokemon deserves better. This is the better that I've wanted out of Pokemon, and it shows. You look at Scarlet and Violet and then Legends Z-A, and you notice that there are improvements being made to the franchise in the way they're presenting these games now for the Switch 2 era. I genuinely love that and this game so much, be it the battling system and how Xenoblade-like it is, which is a huge compliment by the way, and easily the best thing about this game outside of the character customization, which by the way guys, check out my character's drip. You know, he's pretty awesome, right? All he needs now is a GBL speaker and he'll truly be aura farming. Sidebar here before we move on, I'm not gonna be spoiling the game or what have you because I'm not done with it yet. I'm still at rank E and I know there's a lot more story to cover. So to the people that say that, oh, you're skipping half of the game once you reach rank F, yeah, that's not what's happening here. So that's a dummy take right there. So yeah, don't spoil it in the comments. I want to go in as blind as possible. I really love this game so much, so don't do that to me, please. And you know, just be respectful in that aspect. And again, once you reach rank F, you're not skipping half of the game. You're starting the game. That's how I think. Anywho, this game just rocks for my first impressions and experience, and I really don't understand why people are saying the things that they are saying about Legends Z-A. Not to discredit them or anything, but it doesn't feel like constructive criticism most of the time, but more so just a means to grift about a game that we tend to forget is a baby's first RPG experience. Pokemon graphically was not meant to be built like a Persona, SMT, or even like a Digimon game where they know their audience is much older and more involved in the aspects of what those games present in the RPG genre. Same with Xenoblade Chronicles, where I will admit Pokemon should lean more into their aspects of environmental design and gameplay, especially when we're playing around in a huge city like Lumiose here. Lumiose, whenever I explored it, I mean, I enjoy running around and climbing to the rooftops like I'm in a game of Assassin's Creed, which is also another huge compliment about this game. Like before, I never felt like I was in a city filled with people and Pokemon alike that I am in Legends Z-A here, be it during the day doing research for Mabel or side missions, to even doing the Z-A Royale and testing out the battling with my homeboys and homegirls here. I love what this game does in those aspects, but I also see that there are issues with the emptiness this world does bring, and I do wish they had more character movements with the NPCs and have them interact with the city more than just standing still, I guess. You know, like something that, again, Assassin's Creed, to go back to that comparison, does whenever we play one of their games. I do wish Legends Z-A did something similar to that, and maybe that's where the disrespect is on my end, because we are again in a city that is the equivalent of Paris here, and somehow Legends Arceus, a game where you can argue was rather empty, had more life brought into it. Legends Z-A does need more of that, and I really want to feel like I am involved in the city of Lumiose outside of the main missions and side requests you do end up doing, which again I also love about this game. Whenever you do a side mission or you're running around to the wild zones or any area you pinned on the map, it's so much fun, you guys. Like, I can't even explain how running around through the city, because I'm so locked in those moments, especially when I'm going to the next new wild zone that's available to me, or just see who else needs my help around the city. It's different from Legends Arceus in that manner because you're not totally confined to a hub world area and then fast travel to the other zones, because you are in one entire zone, and that's freaking awesome. Speaking of Arceus as well, this is sort of a minor spoiler. I know I said I didn't want to do spoilers here, but when you visit the Lumio's museum and head to the second floor and see that they have a Hisui exhibit, that blew my mind, you guys, and that also made me tear up a little because I adore Legends Arceus as a Pokemon fan and as a Generation 4 fan, and I wish they did play the Jubilife Village theme here, which would have cemented the idea of what they were trying to reference in this area. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, here, take a look. See right there? That is awesome, man. Like, this is what it needed. And the battling here is crazy, man. It's basically a simplified Xenoblade game where it's more real-time action as opposed to the turn-based that we were so used to. But my god, guys, I really want Pokemon to be more like this. This is what I wanted out of the battling in terms of it being more dynamic and expressive, and it felt like I was playing the anime at times because of how you're constantly moving around either for a ZA Royale battle or trying to stop the Rogue Mega Evos for the story, which are kind of the main bosses here like the ones we had back in Legends Arceus. The back and forth of moving your character around with your Pokemon to do some combat is great in my book, and something that is the true experience of Legends Z-A. These are the battles I want to see in future Pokemon games, and they really didn't disappoint me since they made me forget that the windows aren't fully modeled, and to that I say, who really cares? Again, I just don't understand people calling this game a massive disappointment or trying to like gauge some audience points here and there about, oh, this game is bad, this is the worst game ever, worst Pokemon game, all that kind of stuff. Or even just calling this game transactional when last time I checked, you played a Pokemon game back in Generation 5. So I don't know, like I just don't understand these people. Again, I'm not saying their criticisms aren't valid, it's just that whenever I take a look at those criticisms, I don't see what they're pointing out that's bad, but more so their attitude and trying to convince you to not play this game and take their word as gospel. And as a creative myself who devotes a lot of his time to bringing a positive atmosphere, it's the most stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's why my reviews in the channel are my personal experiences about these games and why no two experiences will ever be the same, and the same with these videos being my first impressions of a game I've wanted to cover, which I'm hoping to do a proper review of Legends Z-A down the line, potentially after I do Legends Arceus for its 3rd anniversary since that's coming up now that I think about it, so yeah, we're getting old. But what I am saying here is that I enjoyed Legends Z-A, the story from what I experienced with the characters, which by the way, Tawny is best girl and deserves so much love as a rival character, is fantastic, and this is a game that I think is worth your time if you love the franchise. Again, I understand that Pokemon can do better, and I did point that out so many times throughout the channel. There are so many videos I made about it at that point, so I won't really reiterate what I've said in the past. You're gonna have to look at those videos to be honest. But with Pokemon Legends Z-A here, I am having the time of my life here. You know, again, the battling is phenomenal, and overall, it's a solid 8 out of 10 experience if you let it be an 8 out of 10 experience. If you are looking into this game as if it's going to break the RPG molds like a Claire Expedition, then chances are you're going to have the opinion that this game sucks ass because you're viewing it from a lens that doesn't make any sense. Why compare a game like Pokemon to a game like Persona when they're equally as different as to some of their own parts regarding of what they want you to do in their said games? But if you are looking into this game as if you've been a part of the franchise since the moment you picked up your first Pokemon game ever, then the chances of what your opinion will be is going to be similar to mine, where you see both the good and the bad, but at the end of the day, you enjoyed the game because you, yes, you made the experience a 8 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. You didn't let Legends Z-A tell you how to make the game good. No, you made Legends Z-A good either by embracing the combat system, enjoy running around Lumios, or again, checking out that character customization because it's the best one out of the entire freaking franchise. Like, look at my character and how much I wish I had that in my wardrobe right now. To close things off though, these are just my thoughts and this is how I feel. Again, my first impressions of this game is not a review proper. I really want to do a proper review about this game, but I would have to cover Legends Arceus again to do that. But in terms of overall, I like this game. I've said that numerous times already throughout the video, but I'll say it again and I'll keep saying it because That's just what this game does to me. And if you don't like it, then don't buy it. It's that simple. You can invest your time and money somewhere else and appreciate those experiences, but don't downplay it to others who were waiting for this game the moment they teased it, like 2 years ago to be exact, and just dogpile on them saying, oh, this game isn't it, this game is trash, this game is, a disappointment, so on and so forth, especially for clicks on social media and on the internet. Like, come on, you can do better. And listen, they can do better. I've said that already, and I'm going to reiterate that point, and I've reiterated that point in many videos as well, like I've said. So, yeah, that's it. These are my thoughts. Go right ahead. Roast me in the comments for those that don't like this game. Enjoy what I have to say about this game and maybe add more context into it. Spoiler free, by the way. And just enjoy the game for what it is. You make the experience, like I said, and nothing more. And what I'm gonna do now, since we're wrapping things up here, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Switch 2, boot up the game again, and I'm gonna keep playing the game until I'm satisfied with the outcome. And I'm also gonna buy the DLC because that's how I am as a person. I freaking love this game. Flock off, haters. And also that character customization, 10 out of 10 right there. Now that's game of the year.